So we can move now to the agenda. What are we going to speak about tonight? We will have 3 blocks. First, we will have the presentation of the association, then the presentation of the local group Madrid and about their project. We will then move to very interesting conversation with 3 enthusiastic speakers about aerospace. And we will finish with a networking session where we will be split in 4 different rooms, to give the opportunity to all participants to contribute. During this event, you can raise your questions through the chat of Zoom, and we'll try to address your questions whether in this chat or during a Q&A session, which will take place at the end of the conversation block, or during the networking session. We will try to finish at around 8:15. And now, not to use any more of our time, I will give the floor to Luisella Giulicchi, our president of Women in Aerospace Europe.
Good evening, buenas tardes to everybody. I'm very honored to be here for the launch of the Madrid Local Group. And thank you, Diana. I must share something with you. Diana is our star of the regional development. I mean, Diana has been since many years instrumental to define and to implement the strategy of our presence all over Europe. And I think you're very lucky to have her in Madrid, and I'm sure that she will be able to contribute to many of your initiatives directly being present in your area. An area that is absolutely fundamentally in Europe, in Spain and in Europe, where a lot of companies and a lot of space and aerospace business is clustered. Let me then describe what is Women in Aerospace. First of all, this is a global network. Women in Aerospace was founded in 1986 the slide there is a typo in the slides, in 1996 in the US. The European branch was the European, let's say, association was born just 12 years ago, but has grown enormously, meaning that there was a need and there was an interest to discuss diversity or to improve the situation with respect to diversity and inclusion in the aerospace sector. Our vision actually is to have a successful European aerospace business, which has an inclusive representation, because we need the best talented people to succeed in our very challenging projects. Our mission is to be actually a platform for the aerospace profession to promote diversity, but also to attract a new generation, and is an association open, of course, to men and women. And we have indeed a lot of men in the association or even in the board of the association. And we want to help the professional and the organization to succeed. Now, the association is a European association. Talking legally, is a registered association in the Netherlands, where it was founded first. I'm actually talking to you from Amsterdam right now. I'm also located in the Netherlands. The founder were Simonetta Di Pippo, now director of the UN Outer Space Office, and Claudia Kessler, who was founded recently, the Astronautine Corporation, and was CEO of Aerospace. Now the association has is a legal entity with the chair, president. I'm the president, so I'm the legal responsible for this association. And we have a fantastic team that work at European level, which is in this chart. In the following chart, sorry, if you can move to the the previous one. Previous, please. You're going forward. You should go backwards if you can, please. Oh, okay, fine. Let's go to the next. Sorry for this hiccup. So our association has multiple dimensions, meaning and multiple pillars, I would call them. There are individual members, there are corporate members, and we have a partnership with other associations or universities or other entities that are linked to the aerospace business. And then fundamental, we have local groups spread all over Europe. So from 10 years ago, there were about 60 members and just one corporate member, which was ISA. And then since then, we have moved forward, and now we are very proud of our 31 corporate members. If you move to the next slide, please. This is just a snapshot with the logos of our corporate members. And as we speak, more members are joining. We are signing agreement with more corporations. And we basically try to serve all these entities, as I said, in one of our sort of dimension in of our organization. If you could move to the next one. And this is our local groups map. So today we put a very important flag in this map, which is the local group of Madrid. Let me say, the organization has multiple dimensions. So we are distributed regionally, we are distributed internationally, meaning we are part of a local network, and we are connected with the corporations that are always, not always, but in many cases distributed European-wise. So we try to put together, as I said, to be a platform for all these entities to discuss and to achieve common objectives, which is a diverse and inclusive aerospace sector, and mostly a successful one with the best talented people working in it. If you could move to the next slide, I just want to quickly show some of the programs that we have. So clearly we are a networking association, but we have training program, we have lectures, we have a very important award and grant program. And more is coming. As we are growing, we try to also provide, I would call it services, more services to the various stakeholders or entities that are part of our association, which are, again, the individual members, the corporate, and the local group that represent the energy, I would say, of the group. I will leave, however, to the Madrid local group to illustrate what are the initiatives that they have already planned. Because this is, I was very thrilled to receive their proposal, because they have clear idea with clear proposal, and I'm sure that will be appreciated by most of the audience tonight. I would like to conclude thanking our distinguished speakers today. This is really enriching the program of tonight. And of course, I thank everybody that are participating tonight with us, together with the organizers, the wonderful men and women of the WIA Local Group Madrid. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Luisella, for this very short introduction. In fact, it's very challenging to sum up all what we are as an association and all the activities and programs we do, because we cover so many things, and that you have managed to give some some headlines of what we do in 5 minutes. So thank you for keeping the time. Now we will move to the presentation of the local group of Madrid. So we will have Rocío and Eva presenting the local group of Madrid. Rocío García is the leader of the local group. She's a telecommunication engineer from Universidad Politécnica de Madrid. She joined Thales Alenia Space in 97, and she works as a project manager since 2004. She has led numerous programs for satellite operators and space agencies, as INTA, Hispasat, Eutelsat, European Space Agency, CNES, CARI, and so on. She has also spent 4 years at Thales Alenia Space in Belgium in the project department and as head of the power converters product line. Rocío is currently responsible for the activities of Thales Alenia Space in Spain in the European Galileo second generation navigation program, coordinating the different projects and of the company in this program. And Maria Eva Ramírez, so she's the co-leader of the local group. She holds a PhD in mathematical science from the University of Cádiz, Spain, and she has focused her professional experience on GNSS from the very beginning. Firstly as a user, and afterwards working in Galileo and EGNOS programs. In December 2018, she joined INECO as a GNSS expert, working as a GNSS consultant for the Ministry of Transport, Mobility and Urban Planning, and as part of Space Opal team at the GSC, the European GNSS Service Center, supporting the European GNSS Agency for Galileo adoption and market development, mainly in eGNSS application and agriculture and geomatics domain. And now I will hand over to Rocío and Eva for their presentation.
Gracias, Diana. Thank you. So good afternoon. Good afternoon to everybody. I would like to welcome and to thank you for sharing with us this afternoon and sharing this first official event of our local group. So we are all very excited and happy to have reached this point. I would like to thank Luisella for sharing with us in representation of Women in Aerospace Europe. I would also like to thank our special guests, Irene, Carmen, and José Antonio. And Diana, I want to thank you also because you have supported us, given tips, recommendation, and you have been very, very important in the creation of this group. So before I start my presentation, I would ask to all of you to answer a small question that is going to appear in the screen, I hope, just to know how you have met this group and where have you known us. Okay. So between 2015 and 2019, as Diana has said, I was working in Brussels as expatriate with Thales, and it was there where I met Women in Aerospace Association. And I found it very interesting because it allows me to meet people, to create networks, to share experience, and I found that it was very important to give visibility to women in aerospace. That's why when I came back to Madrid, I spoke with Diana, who was working in my company, and I expressed to her that I would like to create a local group in Madrid. At that moment, there was no local groups in Spain, except in Barcelona. They were starting the activities in 2019. So the idea was stopped. But beginning of this year, I took again this idea, and then I proposed Diana, okay, maybe we could try to organize the group. Let's see if we are ready in Madrid to organize it. So I talked with some colleagues, we wrote some emails, we called people who could be interested, and we organized some meetings to explain what was WIA and which are our objectives. So the answer to this question, are you ready to create a local group? Do you want to participate in this group? Was yes, definitively yes. And I have written here a big yes, because this answer was amazing. In only 2 meetings, we found almost 50 people full of energy. willing to promote a space sector, willing to go to schools, universities, to give reference to all the girls and students. And it was really, really impressive, the answer, in such a way that in only 1 month, we were able to create a project, to present it to the Women in Aerospace Europe Board of Directors and bring approved as local group. So basically, we all share the objectives of Women in Aerospace. I have extracted here some of our comments and motives, and so we all share the fact that it's important to increase the presence of women in the companies, but in order to increase, we need girls that will take the relay. And it's a fact that during decades, the percentage of women and girls in the university has not changed. So we think that a very important point is the lack of references and the stereotypes. And we want with this group to give this reference to the girls, to young people, to share with them the passion we all have in the space, and to help them to become future engineers and astronauts. Why not? So the first question was, yes, we are ready in Madrid to create a local group. We are almost 40, 50 people willing to create it. So the second element that we analyzed to see if it was possible to create the group was if in Madrid there was an important space industry on what we call a space ecosystem. And this question was even easier than the previous one, because in Madrid we have almost 95% of the Spanish space industry concentrated in this region, not only with companies, but also with some universities, institutions, international centers from ESA, NASA, and Galileo. And I would like also to thank all of these companies. Some of them are already corporate members of Women in Aerospace Europe, like Thales and GMV. You have seen it in previous presentation. Some of them want to become members and have already presented their registration in the internet, like Ispasat and Alter, thanks to the creation of this group. And other companies like LIDAS, TEDAE, or ISDEFE have supported also in the creation of this group. So I would like to thank you, all of them, because they are really supporting us to promote the group within the employees and also to promote the group within the media, radio, press. So it's really amazing. It has been an incredible answer, and we are all overwhelmed by this. So yes, it's clear that in Madrid, the space sector is very important, and we can say and we can see that Madrid companies have contributed to many missions and projects that have been essential for Spanish government, like Paz or Ingenio, Spanish operator Ispasat with SpainSat, Amazonas Nexus, and previous Ispasat satellites, and also for the main programs of ESA, like ExoMars, previous Sentinels, now Copernicus, Cheops, MTG, Galileo. So we can say that we are ready in Madrid to create the group. It's important that this group promote the space activities between young people. It's important that we give reference to the girls, and we hope that in the future many of these girls will become our successors. So, said that, now my colleague Eva will present you all the activities we have planned, all the energy we have collected, and the different working groups we have created. Thank you, and enjoy this event.
Okay, thanks Rocío, and thanks everybody for being here today with us. So as Rocío has mentioned, we have distributed our activities in 4 working groups. One's devoted to social networks, the other one for events and networking, STEM and education, and self-development and mentoring. So the first of our working groups, next slide please, is about social networks. We have already created some profiles in Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn, and in fact we are also preparing a TikTok profile to reach the youngest audience. We plan to announce all our events and activities in the networks, so we encourage you to follow us to be updated of our latest news. The second of our groups, next slide, is about STEM and education. In this group, for sure, we want to promote in schools and universities the visibility of the woman in the aerospace sector, and also to inspire students and mainly young girls to be motivated in this amazing work. As part of our activities, we want to prepare material, some dossiers for schools, celebrate workshops, and also to participate in job fairs. During these months, we are preparing a directory of centers that are interested in our visits, and we are compiling the material that we have for previous experience, and we are also elaborating a visit plan for this year and for coming year. The third of our groups is focused on interviews and talks with relevant women of the sector. We want to celebrate roundtables, virtual coffees, and so on. And in fact, for the coming months, we are managing an interesting interview with Teresa Riesgo, who is leading the General Secretary of Innovation of the Spanish Ministry of Science and Innovation. We have also a very nice activity planned after summer with pioneers women who will share with us their experience in aerospace sector. And then for Christmas, we want to perform, to celebrate a kind of interview or roundtable between children and aerospace experts, so they can ask them their concern or funny questions and so on. So we consider that Christmas is a children time, so it's a very nice activity to be held at December. And then the fourth working group, last but not least, is devoted, it's focused on a mentoring program for the professional and personal development, which will be complemented with some lectures and workshops. In fact, we have already confirmed the two interested lectures for the coming months. One about positive stress positivo, which will be held by Ángel and Rebeca López. And then also another interesting lecture about tantas personas como colores, should be something like each to his own, something like that, by Irene González. And these two lectures will be held in Spanish, but I'm sure that some other events will be held in English, so the European members can participate with no problems. And before continuing, we will launch a quick question about your interest on this group that will help us to organize the networking session afterwards. Okay, so as Rocío has already mentioned, the main objective of this group is not only to raise the visibility of women in the aerospace sector, but also to transmit how important is the space industry in Europe. And why? Because Europe is the fourth space power in the world, behind the United States, China, and Russia. There are almost 50,000 professionals working in this sector, 22% of which are women, and it is an industry that moves a lot of money per year, almost 9,000 million euros. In particular, Spain hosts the 4th place in Europe, so we are not in a bad position. And there are more than 4,000 professionals working in Spain in the aerospace sector, and we are above the average. There are 24% are women in the aerospace sector in Spain. So the numbers are not bad, low, but not bad. And then next slide, Spain as a country is quite aware about the importance of the space industry. And in fact, Spain has increased its investment during the last year in the European space program. This is quite good because each euro that is invested comes back to the country in the form of contracts, procurement, and at the end of more jobs. A couple of examples here. One of them is Copernicus, the Earth Observation European Program. The 10% of the contracts of Copernicus are gathered by Spanish companies. And another very important example here is the Spain role in Galileo. We host in Spain very important contracts, both in the first and second Galileo generation. And also in Spain, there are two important infrastructures of Galileo program, such as the GNSS Service Center in Torrejón de Ardoz and the Galileo Security Monitoring Center, which is also located in Madrid. And next slide. With no further delay, I leave the floor to Diana, who will introduce us to Carmen Aguilera, José Antonio Sobrino, and Irene Rivera, our guests today, who will share with us very interesting aspects of the aerospace sector and their experience in this amazing world. So, Diana, your turn, and thanks everybody.